sometimes you're doing a project and you've done that project hundreds of times and it's just worked. It's just worked the way you want. And then you switch a little teeny bit and it is just crazy. Things that take you 10 minutes. It's just one thing after another. And it's an hour later and you're frustrated and you're just like ready to give up on it. This is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And I'm going to show you my project that should have been very easily, should have taken me 10 minutes, but it took me way over an hour. I have what they call a capsule machine, and it's something so that you can make little caplets. I use it for the most part. I mean, I put a lot of different things in it, different herbs in them. But for the most part, I make it with activated charcoal. So there's little caplets for Joe, because he has kind of a rumbly stomach. That's what he calls it. It's starting to rumble. And he takes the activated charcoal and it helps it. It settles it down. It can help with a lot of different things. Sometimes he takes baking soda in a caplet, because drinking baking soda water, which is really good for you, is really hard because it's horrible. So I just make those caplets. Sometimes I'm putting elderberry in them and doing all these different things. Now, my caplet machine up in Wyoming, I have used, 5, 10 or more years. It has worked consistently perfect. I ordered from the same company, got my caplet machine, and it's a different size. And I ordered that on purpose so that I could bring it back up and I have two sizes. My one up there is a 00, 00, whatever you want to call it, and this is a single. But I bought the caplets themselves from a different company. It was better priced. Wrong thing to do. Seriously, wrong thing to do. Let's go to see what happened when I'm trying to fill Joe's baking soda and activated charcoal caplets. Now this is a capsule machine and it's a single zero. My one up there is a 00 in Wyoming. And it just has all the parts. It has instructions, all the different parts, and we'll talk about each of the different things. It's really an amazing machine. Now they send you this so you can put it in with your caplets. If you live in a place that's really humid, it really helps to put that in your caplets. Now this is the base. Well, let me flip it over. You set the regular base onto it. The large part of the caplet goes in that part. There's a scraper. This compacts it, and then you have the top. So you just take the caplets, and the small part goes in the top. The longer part of the capsule goes in the bottom. And you just fill up all the holes. Now you could do it at, maybe you only need 6 caplets. You just fill 6 holes. Put your stuff in there, and you're set. So I'm just going to go through and I'm going to fill that whole thing up. Now see, when you press it down, you can make sure that you have filled every single cell. And you make sure you fill all the top too. And see how the light reflects, so you can really tell that you filled everything up. Now I take that bottom base off when I go to put everything in there and put the caplets together. And it just lifts off and you just take it out from underneath of it. You do have to have all the caplets even with the surface so that when you're filling it, it's easy to do. So I just make sure they're all even. And then I can start putting the activated charcoal in. And this is what a caplet looks like. They're clear. Most of the time I get vegetarian ones. I thought that's what I ordered, but that is not what I received. I have to tell you that when you're doing activated charcoal, it is a messy job. It's very light, and you're pressing it in there so that it taps it down so that you get as much charcoal in each caplet as possible. And then you just use that card to scrape it all off. Now the idea is that you put the caplets together, squeeze it, and then you pull it out. But see, this is my first way of noticing that it doesn't want to pop all the caplets out. And you just press the bottom and see how it shoots those caplets out. Now, theoretically, everything should come out. But that's not the case. They were just like totally stuck in there. I had to use some little pliers to get them out. I don't like this card. My one up there has a green plastic card like this one, and I just cut that out of some plastic just like that red. It's my cutting board. I just cut one in the right size because I liked it better and I thought it would be easier to clean out. And my other one has one like that instead of just that white card. I'm going to try again. So I'm putting them all in. I'm filling it up. And we are going to try to put caplets together again. I'm pounding it in so it's really got a lot of charcoal in each cell, because that's what you want. You want to fill that bottom section all. Now this is the type of capsules I got. It's a company I have never used before, and I was positive I ordered vegetable caplets, but these are bovine. They should theoretically work, but they don't. They get stuck. They don't want to come out. I'm repeatedly trying it over and over again. And what's happening is they're actually crushing themselves. They're not strong enough. So what I decided to do, I was just going to put the cap on myself. Because I thought, well, maybe if I do it myself, it will fit together better. And maybe it's just off a little teeny bit from the top to the bottom, and that's what's happening. So that's what I'm trying. And then I'll put the lid, the top on there, press it together, and see how it works. Well, that worked better, though it does collapse a little bit on those still, which I have never had that problem before. So that was really frustrating. But I got enough of the charcoal, activated charcoal for Joe. And I just store them in a Ziploc bag. But you can see sometimes it's the top sticking, sometimes it's the bottom sticking. So I was just really frustrated. And it took me a long time to get all these caplets for Joe. It's the next day. I've cleaned everything up. And I actually put that moisture absorber into the package of caplets. Now, Yuma is not at all humid. And that's what that's for. But I'm just going to fill those all up, and then I'm going to put my charcoal in there. I'm packing it down like you're supposed to. And I'm going to flip my lid over. Well, what's happening is the caplets have shrunk a little bit. So there was moisture in there from yesterday. But they don't want to stay in the top. They just keep falling out. And I try again. And they do it again. They're falling out. So I think I'm going to actually put some water on my finger and just run it across there, and maybe I can get it to stick a little bit better. At this point, I am extremely frustrated. This time, with that little bit of water, it did only have 3 of them. It came out. But I should never have any that come out. And so I'm pulling it, and it did work better this time. It did work better after I got that water onto the top of the caplets. But there were ones that kept falling out, and so then I had to do it myself. I tried it several times, multiple times actually. So I'm sure you can hear my frustration. But I really ended up filling them by spoon on a lot of them because they would not work. So I'm never buying those caplets again. But I got them all done, and what should have been a 10-minute job was way, way longer. But Joe has his caplets, and I'm happy about that part. Do you see what I mean? Have you ever had those days, those projects that you've done over and over and over again? And it's just always worked. It's always been easy. It doesn't take very much of your time. Some days, it's just like that. Not that I wouldn't recommend the Capsule Machine, because I do like that Capsule Machine, but I will never buy the actual caplets from that company again. I'll go back to what I was using before. But sometimes you're just saving a penny, which you don't really save a penny, because I threw a whole bunch of them away because they would just crunch together and they didn't really fit the machine like they should have fit the machine. But breathe. Just one of those days. Always like, share, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it, everybody. And I hope you have a fabulous Sunday afternoon. And I will see you next time.